ABC. Conklin and Company with 13 ABC Action News anchor Lee Conklin. First with what's happening behind the headlines. And Take 3, our panel of political analysts.
Morning, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Conklin and Company. We are jam-packed on the program today. So much to get to with the election just over 2 weeks away. In Take 3, we'll check in with our Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro, who will be in Boca Raton, Florida tomorrow night for the third and final presidential debate. Tom Troy from The Blade also joining us. Tom has been on the campaign trail just about 24/7 with the candidates. Tom will be in studio. One of our favorite segments during the campaign season, the art of the political ad. We're going to break down some of them with our local experts from FLS Marketing Group. But first, the TPS levy push. The district asking voters to say yes November 6th to a $4.9 million 10-year property tax levy. If approved, it would mean the first new money coming into TPS since 2001. Cost the owner of a $100,000 house about $150 a year. But the levy coming at a time when the new report for Ohio's schools comes out, the new report card, and TPS falling from continuous improvement to academic watch. Superintendent Dr. Jerome Pecco joins us this morning to talk about the levy, where the district is, where it's been, and where you want to go. And Dr. Pecco, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me. As you just described the detail of the levy, and it's the second attempt for the district in the past 2 years. We took a year's breather, and that was not intended, but due to the things that we have been doing with restructuring the school district, the district was able to make some substantial reductions in terms of employee force and transportation and some other areas that allowed us to take a little bit of breathing room and stay off the ballot until now. But
okay, so here you are. You reduced the levy. You were going to ask for more money back in the initial
correct
effort, right? So you
yes.
said, was it because you said taxpayers will say no to this? There's no way they're going to approve this humongous levy. Was it 6.9 mils?
It was a 6.9 mil levy. It was also permanent. And what happened to that, that was an early call by us, administration, and our board. And we did not have the new 5-year forecast completed yet. That had all the information on the performance of last year. And that occurred after the board voted for that 6.9 mil levy, and we discovered then in refining the forecast for the year that there were some significant additional savings to the district, about $8 million.
Yeah, you found this money. There's some controversy. Okay, it
actually no, it's all on the expense side. There was no additional revenue. That revenue dollar amount never changed. It was on the expense side, and those things are not really predictable until you complete the year. A lot of it came from savings in the healthcare sector of our budget, and that was due to negotiations that we had that previous summer with all of our employee groups. And another big component of that was savings. We anticipated that we'd be losing more students back then than we actually did. And so we were able to decrease the expenditure side, the dollars that would have gone to the state.
Okay, Dr. Pecco, I want to ask you about the transformational plan, because so much was made of it. Shifting kids, changing schools, moving teachers, moving administrators. But Christian Brown did a report when the report card came out this week and said some of the blame being put for the falling of the grade on the transformational plan. So from a positive, where you said you successfully implemented this plan, comes the negative, where you blame part of the drop on the transformational plan. Is that correct?
We've been saying all along that in the first year it was going to be a touch-and-go situation for us. We anticipated that there very likely would be a dip in terms of student performance. We had over 300 classrooms that had teachers teaching in them that were either brand new teachers, about 122 of them were brand new, and the rest of the remainder of them were folks that we had to shuffle from, for example, our middle schools, which we disbanded and recreated into K-8 buildings. And those people who were moved out of the buildings that they were in ended up in different classrooms, and some in primary grades, and hadn't taught primary grades for quite a long time. So it was a big change for staff. In addition to that, we had about 3,000 students that were now going to buildings that they had not expected that they would be going to just months prior to the start of that past school year.
Many times when you ask taxpayers for a levy, and I understand it's the job of a superintendent. I mean, it's, get those test scores up, get those levies approved. You say if it doesn't pass, well, this is, we're headed to the fiscal cliff, if you will. But what can you tell taxpayers, residents of Toledo, that if they do say yes, where goals can be achieved, can be reached, get the grades back up? Is there a certain year you say, okay, this transformational plan will be fully implemented, and we feel we can be where we want to be by when, if we get this levy approved?
Well, I would say this is the year for us to become comfortable with the assignments that we have. I would anticipate that, I would say within the next 2 years, we definitely will be back in continuous improvement. Personally, I'd love to see us get to the rating of excellent as a school district.
Did you anticipate the drop? Did you see it coming?
This year?
Yeah.
Well, as I said earlier, yes, that was something that we had when we were out in the community making presentations in the fall of last year when we were implementing the transformation. We were suggesting that. We were very concerned about it because we had so many teachers that were in positions that had not taught grade levels and content areas that they weren't accustomed to teaching, and there's a learning curve there, no matter how intelligent they are, and they're a good, intelligent bunch of people. It took time for them to become comfortable with that. So we did anticipate that the likelihood that there would be this hiccup, as I'm calling it.
Dr. Conklin, we're running out of time, and I want you to be able to, given everything that's happened, and you had the situation with the so-called attendance scrubbing, which you brought, you said you brought to light as well. You were forthcoming on that, and the money that not was found, but you understand there was other money. Your best case that this is the best way for taxpayers to spend their dollars?
Well, I hope the taxpayers do look at the big picture. The school district has restructured not only the K-8, but have made modifications in special education to do inclusion for students. We have opened our doors to partnerships in the community that are providing services for our students that normally are not part of what we do. It's sort of an outreach, and those are significant as well. A lot of good stuff going on, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But I know we're running short. I can continue if you want me to, but hopefully our community will see that, know that we do have phase 2 of the transformation we want to implement, as well as about $35 million worth of federal funding from Race to the Top and the School Improvement Grant that have brought some additional things into our lowest performing schools that we would like to sustain beyond the limits of the grant.
And you lose some of that. Well, federal funding will drop if you don't get this. Well, federal funding is
going to drop.
Is going to drop regardless. All right. Best of luck.
Okay.
We thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
It goes so quickly, Dr. Pecco, but we thank you for coming in.
Okay.
And we want everybody to get out there and vote on November 6th.
Absolutely.
All right.